So I'm just going to skip through question 5 really quickly. Uh, if you kind of remembered the shape of it, it actually wasn't too bad a question to do. And most of you did pretty well on it, to be honest. And so this is a kind of an example um, that's pretty good. Shape of the curve is really nice. GDP on, real GDP on this side, time on this side. A couple of people had a line through showing the idea of potential, that actually economies go up and over and above that potential. So that was kind of a bonus that some people came up with. I picked up on this example. It was actually quite good to start and define exactly what economic activity is. People, you just sort of jumped into the diagram without starting with sort of something about GDP. And then most people followed the same format, which is fine, stepping through the different phases. The things to look out for, and that you should be explaining in each of the phases, what happens to some of these what are called macroeconomic indicators. So things like inflation, is how does that change in the different phases? Inflation increases at the top of the curves due to the idea of the scarcity of factors of production, and it drops down, maybe even deflationary in the bottom of a trough. What happens to unemployment? So unemployment is mentioned down here. What happens to it when we go up and down through these troughs? And so most people do that quite well. At the boom, what unemployment would be the lowest, but inflation's the highest, growth the highest. Kind of one point I wanted to pick out, and not many people picked up on it, was the change in what's called business and consumer confidence. That's the thing that really leads to the shift between here and to here. All of a sudden, people get more pessimistic. Government starts sort of tweaking the economies and changing interest rates. But consumer and business confidence is the thing that drives it, in my opinion. And it's quite important. And so I think that was something that I looked for to get quite high grades in this. Also, I think, and not many people got past sort of a 7 here or an 8. I think you need an example. You needed to at least state, a country that might be in a trough, could be example, could be Spain with 25% youth unemployment, talk about Greece, countries that are in booms, Singapore with quite high, quite low unemployment and inflation that's pretty has been high in the past. So countries to pick up the points was a really good extra part for this.